things are happening. Hello everyone, my name is Chloe and today I'm here with a brand new video. Welcome to Brunette Bibliophile, where I post bookish videos and writing content, and happy Halloween. So I was originally supposed to have a different costume for work. My coworkers and I are going to be minions and our boss is going to be Gru, but I realized last night that I left my minion eye at work on my desk, so I had to pick a different costume for this video. But it's okay because I had this unicorn onesie and it's very warm, but it works. And of course my camera battery is dying, so let's just jump right in and talk about all of the books that I read during the month of October. I realized just now that I forgot to say that this is an October wrap-up. I did a ton of reading this month. Like, I am very surprised at how much I got done because the beginning of the month was chaos because there was a hurricane for the last couple of days of September. But I think I got 12 or 13 items done in October, and we're going to talk about everything for the next couple of minutes. So let's go ahead and get started. So I think I read a decent mix of my own books and library books. Towards the end it was getting to be just library books, but let's just jump right in. So the first book I completed this month was Marrying the Ketchups by Jennifer Close. I am disappointed in this read, and I don't necessarily think it is the book. I think some of it is me. I gave this book 2 stars. I did listen to the audiobook, which I think might have affected the listening of this book. And also this was like my main read when the hurricane was happening, so I think a lot of it was just I wasn't in the right mindset for this book. So I'm giving it 2 now on my first read through. I don't know if I will ever read it again. I think there's a lot of things that happen in this book that maybe also weren't helping with me reading it. So for now, a 2, but I'm not saying that I won't reread it in the future, if that makes sense. So we didn't start off the month very well, but it gets better. Next, I read a children's book titled How the Villains Stole Christmas by Serena Valentino. For those of you who may know, Serena Valentino writes the Villains series, which is a series that I really enjoy reading. And this is just a cute little kid's book that is villains wanting to ruin Christmas. Overall, super cute. I really enjoyed it. Don't have too much to say about it, but I gave it 5 stars. Then I read a book because if anybody knows me, you'll know why I read this book. And this book is How to Be More Shrek, An Ogre's Guide to Life. So one of my favorite movies is Shrek and the Shrek franchise. So this was something that when I saw it on the on order list on my library's website, I knew I wanted to read it. It's just like a cute little kitschy, like, if you're an ogre, you don't like being around people, you don't like this, you don't like that, like, but it has like explanations and also just guides to being an ogre. I don't really know how to explain that any better than I just did. I just think it was cute and kitschy and fun. I did not rate this one because I don't even know where to begin with this one. But it did take me a whole day to read it, so I put effort into it. So next I read one of my anticipated releases for the year, and it was The Final Gambit by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the 3rd and final book in the Inheritance Games series, but it was also announced that she is writing a spin-off book titled The Brothers Hawthorne. So there's going to be more books set in this world. I was very curious how things were going to be wrapped up in this book because things kind of ended nicely at the end of the 2nd book. Without spoilers, something happened that led to the events of this book. This one I gave 4 stars. This has been a surprising series for me that I've enjoyed pretty much every book. I really liked the puzzle aspect of all the books. The romance, I could have done without it in the first 2 books, but I think it did start to win me over in this one. But overall, just a really interesting and fun series that I enjoyed reading, and I look forward to the next installments in this world. Did I say that I gave it 4 stars? Can't remember. Next, I did a buddy read with my coworker, and we read Romancing Mr. Bridgerton by Julia Quinn. And can I just say how much this book has me so excited for season 3? I'm still kind of bummed that we're not getting Benedict's story in season 3, but I am excited for Penelope and Colin now. I really enjoyed this book. I gave this one 4 stars. The only reason it's not a 5 is because I really didn't like some of Colin's attitude in this book. It was actually kind of concerning, and I hope it's not portrayed in the show. So that's the only reason why it wasn't a 5, but I could not stop thinking about this book for a while. It was so good. Next, I read Demon in the Wood by Leigh Bardugo. This is a graphic novel edition of this short story, and this is following the origin stories of the Darkling. Overall, it was interesting. I definitely enjoyed seeing this in graphic novel form. I honestly cannot remember if I read the original short story, Demon in the Wood, but the graphic novel was fun and definitely a great addition to the Grishaverse. 4 stars. Next is a book I'm not going to talk too much about, and that is Fix Her Up by Tessa Bailey. The reason I'm not going to talk too much about this is because I did read it for a secret themed TBR video, so you will hopefully be seeing that video in the next month or so. It has taken me quite a while to get this video done, but I'm hoping you'll be able to see that video very soon. So the only thing I'm going to tell you is that I gave this one 4 stars, and this is also my 3rd Tessa Bailey book that I've read. But you will hear much more of my thoughts in the vlog, I promise. Next, I read one of my most anticipated releases for 2022, and that was Angelica Frankenstein Makes Her Match by Sally Thorne. Now, I was very concerned going into this book. Sally Thorne has kind of been on a downward trajectory for me, and I was really worried that I was gonna hate this book. I loved it. Desirai and I buddy read this, Desirai from Libri Labra, and I think we were both concerned going into it, and I am so glad that we read this. I am so glad that Sally Thorne released this. This is such different vibes from what I know her to write, which is The Hating Game and 99% Mine and all of that. This was so different and so fun and weird that I loved it. This book is not going to be for everybody. I can definitely feel that, especially from some of the reviews that I have read, but I gave it 5 stars. Victor Frankenstein's sister builds her perfect match, and then chaos ensues. I don't know what else to say, except it's weird and interesting, and it's not going to be for everybody, but I freaking loved it. And honestly, it was perfect for Halloween. Next, I read House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig. This was the BookTube Chicks book club pick for the month of October, and we actually just had our live show last night, so I will link that in the description below so you can hear more of my thoughts as well as Kathleen and Desirai's. I gave this one 3 stars. It is a retelling of the 12 Dancing Princesses, and this book ended up being creepier than I expected it to be. But I will let you guys check out the live show linked in the description below so you can hear more of my thoughts as well as Kathleen and Desirai's. We have 3 more books to talk about, all of them Halloween themed, which I think was great that I was able to squeeze all of these in during the month. The first one is Long Live the Pumpkin Queen by Shay Earnshaw. This is a sequel to The Nightmare Before Christmas. This time we're following Sally. This is after the events of The Nightmare Before Christmas. Jack and Sally are married, and something happens where Sally goes on her own kind of adventure. I've never read anything by Shay Earnshaw before, and I wasn't really expecting much from this book. I was just excited to be back in this world and kind of have something after the events of the movie. Overall, I gave it 3 stars. The storyline was okay. I was just happy to be back in this world. Next, I read another Serena Valentino book this month, and that was Raising the Horseman. This is a retelling of the Sleepy Hollow story, which I'm not 100% familiar with. I did briefly look into it a little bit while reading this book, but this book is middle grade YA. I guess that's up to your interpretation, which category it falls into. And we are following Kat Van Tassel. She is the heir to the Katrina legacy. It did take me a little longer to read this than I expected to, and I also kind of expected more from it. Definitely not my favorite Serena Valentino book, but I'm giving it 3 stars. The story was also just okay for me, and the ending could have been longer. I feel like the events were rushed at the climactic ending scene. They were very rushed, and I think it could have been played out just a little bit longer. So overall, 3 stars. I'm still glad that I read it. It was definitely intriguing to me, because I do like to see what else Serena Valentino is putting out besides the Villain series. And the final book I finished it right before filming this, and that was 3 Kisses, 1 Midnight by Roshani Chokshi, Evelyn Skye, and Sanja Menon. Hi guys, this is Chloe from editing. For some reason, while I was editing this video, the final footage from talking about 3 Kisses, 1 Midnight, as well as my outro, doesn't want to show up in the video. There's some sort of glitch on my editing program that it keeps showing footage from a different video. So I'm just going to talk about the book really quick here. So please excuse my appearance. I was not prepared for this. So I had heard about 3 Kisses, 1 Midnight for a while before its release, due to being in Sanja Menon's street team. So while it was being worked on, she would talk about it with us. So I knew a little bit about what was going on with that book. I thought it was going to be similar to the Lady Janie's books or the Jane's series, where there's 3 authors but they write one narrative. This actually ended up being more like a novella series where there's 3 short stories. They each wrote one, but they're all interconnected. So think more along the lines of Let It Snow. I enjoyed the first short story and I enjoyed the last short story. The middle one was okay for me. Taking that all into consideration, I am giving it 3.5 stars. This book is also the quarterly romance book pick for the final quarter of the year, quarter 4, which is hosted by myself as well as Desirai from Libri Labra, linked in the description below. Our live show is going to be happening on November 6th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Desirai's channel. So once that's up, I will link it in the description below. You can hear more of my thoughts as well as Desirai's thoughts. And that is everything for this video. Again, I apologize that editing Chloe had to come in and do the outro again, but thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. Make sure you leave an emoji in the comments below. And if you really like my content, consider checking out my Patreon. It's linked in the description below. Thank you all so much. I'll see you in my next one. Bye! In the darkness, I don't feel so cold.